Hello YouTube, I Fix It All here, Team I Fix It All. I guess this is the video I owe you guys on how the garden is doing, the raised garden beds with the pallets. We won't start on the pallets yet, but that's the corn. I really got a really densely populated amount of corn in there. I always do this. It's not the way we grew corn when I was a kid in Kentucky, but I noticed if you get it tight, you got to be a little more generous on your fertilizing agent. I used manure that you can get away with tighter rows and tighter spacing. You just gotta give them something to eat and water them plenty, because corn and potatoes really deplete a ground as far as its nutrients are concerned. It's doing pretty good. The corn is, let's see if we can be fair there. There's my elbow. And, well, my elbow's at shoulder height right now. And we got bees busy at work, pollinating. This is supposed to be peaches and cream corn. I've never grown it. Kind of spooked because it bloomed really early. This one here is only 6 foot tall, and the little blooms on it have already changed to brown, so I wonder if I'm just going to pay attention and see how well it does. It doesn't normally, I get about 2 or 3 ears per stalk, and I was doing inventory through here and I'm only seeing about 1 ear per stalk. That's no good, but it's more than what we had before. This is our asparagus bed. See if I can walk around this composter. 13 planted and 7 are up. And there's Chief Asparagus looking to the south, watching over the asparagus. This guy here, this guy here. You can barely make them out, the little green bushy things. We're going to let this go for a couple of years before we start harvesting, but that was dug out with a tiller, and then feed sacks laid in, and then a whole bunch of different layers of good job, Elvis, walking right through it. Different layers of different things in there. I think I did a video on that. I'm not too unhappy with the corn. I think it's about, some of it's 8 foot, but the vast majority, on average, I would say 7. So let's just see what it does. I hilled up the corn one time. What I did here was, if you ever need to plant a tight bed of corn, lay your rows out to where you're V-shaped. Put your corn in, and don't bury it very deep, like maybe an inch. It'll help you germinate and sprout quicker. But what you end up with is a V, where when it does rain, the water will collect in those V's. So what I did was I made sure that I had high dirt right there in between the rows, really high dirt. And I had really high dirt on the outside, high dirt in the middle, high dirt in the middle, and high dirt in the outside. And then when the corn got to about 3 or 4 feet high, I got on my hands and knees down in there and used a trenching shovel, and I hauled a lot of dirt up. Now I'm pretty confident we can handle a windstorm. So those stalks are really deep. They've got to be 5 or 6 inches deep. Easy. They're held up pretty nicely, if you can see the background profile of the rows as they change. And that's the way I do corn all the time. It gives me the ability to help them be wind resistant. They're packed in real tight. They're not wind proof, but another thing they're not proof on is raccoons. I've got to get a little electric fence around this, because I've got a couple of mamas and their babies running around, and if I don't feed them, they will come take it out on my corn. They will climb these things and ride them to the ground and say, yay! Our broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cabbages may or may not pull out. We planted them early enough too. Onions doing good. I don't know who broke these over, but yeah, there's a onion. I'm just not touching them. It's the way they grow in nature naturally. Beets, more onions. I've got 3 onions that have gone to seed, so I'm gonna try to do my own starts by seed. We've randomly come in and pulled some things that didn't look like they were gonna produce anything. I think these were all probably broccoli up in here. They just went, I forget what the word is. Looked like hell. I'm doing an experiment right here. I put some hay around this beet. I didn't put hay around that beet. Which one looks better? I'm starting to think mulch ain't the thing for the top of these garden beds. I think a layer of hay is. There's our maters getting busy climbing everything. Got some matey mows down there trying to turn. I think we set our grown from seed maters out too early. Would my wife say they're acting like old mothers? They've been planted for a long time, way before we bought a dozen plants to top off what we have. And these just look a lot shorter than what they should be. Some more of those cold weather plants that'll probably never do anything. More onions. Oh, I got more beets right over there too. See the shade? Beets need sun. I shall be trimming that peach tree. Look at our peaches. Hello, guys. A lot of peaches in there. All right. Parsnips are kicking butt. Maters are kicking butt too for what all they've been through. Kale. Carrots are really doing well. I'm not lying. Check this out. You can see a little bit of orange top down in there, I think. There's quite a few of those where you can see orange top. I'm not going to poke through them all. Just leave them alone. Parsnips. Unbelievably well. These things are, I could pull one of these out right now. It'll probably be 5 inches long. Letting them go as long as we can. That's celery. I was just experimenting. It's going to seed. But it was the bottom of a celery we got from Kroger's. Or, how do I say that? Yeah. And we put it in some water and let it start rooting and then put it out here. It's kind of cool. I might be able to grow celery. You just got to keep a waterfall on it. Daggone things will drink all the water. Here's another onion going to seed. And another pilot onion going to seed. Basil. Yeah. Basil. I seem to recall every time I've thrown basil in the old garden, which is where I'm standing, it wouldn't really pick up and do anything until late in the year. Then when it got chillier, it seemed to do well. I don't know much about basil, but that's that. Peppers are finally starting to do something. Snapping out of it. I've also noticed that I'll plant peppers in May just like I would with everything else if I was getting a regular garden out on the ground. And, well, it's not so true, but May is like the month early mid-May. I can plant peppers and they'll sit there like this. Start blooming and everything in July, be real short. And then come August and through September, they just act like they got fed steroids. So I'm going to be patient with them, like my pepper plants. More madios. And peppers. And some sort of squash. I don't know if it's patty pan or I don't know. Some sort of squash. We lost track. More maters, climbing through all that. Another weed. Come here. Cold weather plant that's if I leave it there, I bet it'll kick butt come October. More weeds. Very few weeds though. Tell you what though, growing a garden in this situation makes gardening so pleasurable. I mean, I don't mind it before. It was just every time you needed to come out to the garden on the regular ground, it always meant you're gonna be there for a bit. And it would replace the luxury we have now with harder work, which isn't a problem. I'm not against hard work. It's just that this makes so much more sense. Random potato plant we was experimenting on. Maters climbing away. Got our pole beans going to town. Maters, pole beans, hanging in gobs. Now, while I'm at it, I don't know what the temperature is in the sun right now, but I had mentioned this early on about building these beds and using the color white to help keep the sun beating down on the dirt and baking it too hot. This is not the optimum temperature, but I'm sure that in plastic bins it would be worse. I'm reading about 83 dirt temperature. And we could probably do a little experiment here and see what we're doing in the ground. Shove this in the ground here. And we'll come back and check on it in a minute or two. Cover up that with hay a little bit. There we go. And I'll come back and check on it. 83-degree temperature. What the hell? I got a locust tree growing in my daggum. No, that's a vine. Alright, there's the beans. So much cooler when you walk down that, even with the sun beating in there. So much cooler because of the beans. A random pepper plant here, hot pepper. Some zucchinis. No, that's not zucchinis. Oh, they're somewhere else. Some sort of squash. Oh, it's patty pan. There we go. Patty pan squash. There's another patty pan. That white guy. Some more cold weather veggies that'll probably never do anything. Bush beans. Some sort of squash. Yeah, I don't know. But it's looking pretty prolific. And this little loose head lettuce was a hit. I just wish we need to give some of this away. I think it stops as one type of lettuce and then it goes to another type right here. Sweet taters. Doing pretty good. Can't wait to dig those up and see what happens. Random tomato plant. Some sort of spice. She told me yesterday. Some zucchinis that may or may not make it. There's a little guy here. What's he trying to do? Choke that off. That's a zucchini. Zucchini. We transplanted those. Got some squashes. Or if squash plural is the same as squash singular, then got some squash. Parsley. Some sort of squash. Beans. Cucumbers in there. A couple of them. They're going to be taking off real soon. They're climbers. Overall, doing really good. That hay in between the rows really keeps the weeds at bay. It does a really good job. I have an experiment going on whether hay does better than mulch. Hay does better than mulch. The mulch holds moisture longer. I think the top shelf of the hay dries out quick and creates an oven. It does hold moisture underneath, but I don't know. I'm theorizing here. It just seems like the hay does a lot better at keeping weeds at bay. So I hardly ever have to go through here and weed. There's the mulch side. I don't know. Could be wrong. Taters need dug, or gotten. Some more beets in here. Sweet taters in there. Mixed in with other taters. White taters, red taters up that way on the other side of this fencing that's protecting the sweet potatoes from deer. Some squash going on. I think that's spaghetti. There's probably several in there. I just haven't even spotted them all yet. Looks like another spaghetti. No, that's butternut there, and that's butternut. I think I've been zoomed in a lot here. Nope. Looking around. Big old pumpkin. Big old pumpkin. That leaf off of him. Another pumpkin. Looking forward to a few of those. And these are all pumpkin up through here. I don't know who's setting on and who's not. There's lots of blooms. Pumpkin patch, acorn squash, butternut and spaghetti squash. And then up here I've got 2 or 3 zucchini plants. Blueberries. 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 Sumac. Figs. I think I may have discovered how to make figs come on here in southern West Virginia, which these are not supposed to do well on at. Keep it watered. Got a ton of figs. All them little green roundies. There's quite a few, the most I've ever seen. The only thing that changed is I added a lot of mulch, and that changed everything. Strawberries, and then something snuck underneath our netting and ate up a couple. So that's fine. It's first year. Some volunteer tomatoes. That's fine. And some flowers. Got more peaches. No pears. No pears. Peach. That's nectarine I showed you earlier, but nectarine is like one gene off from being a peach tree. So it will cross-pollinate with a peach tree and become peach tree. So that's the, did I miss anything? No. So, back up a little bit. And there's that. And there's that. And that. Y'all have a good day. See ya.